Hello everyone, today we are going to be starting a new series which will be rather short admittedly, but a new series nonetheless on this channel talking about the devil fruits these strats would have if they even had any. And this of course referring to the strats that currently do not have devil fruits. I'm not going to reinvent devil fruits for the strats that do have them already, right? So today we will start off with Zoro and we will go through each and every one of these straw hats and talk about the options, just a few of the options and what I would think are the best options. Now of course you guys can join me in this and there are no rules, right? It doesn't matter whether you're picking canon fruits, non-canon fruits, or even made up fruits, right? You could make the fruits up yourself, which is what I've done for some of them, and explain, right? The only thing is that it has to suit them, right? And that's what we will be judging on. Now, before I go into the rest of this video, I will say, guys, thank you for getting me to 100 triple digits, right? It's been a year since I've been on YouTube now, and it just feels great to finally break this barrier. And we're going forward, guys. We're not stopping here. We're just going forward. More growth, more videos, more discussion, as always, right? So for those of you who are new here as well, I put a tag as always in the description to know where you should be to watch this without spoilers. So if you're not up to date, check that out just in case you happen upon a spoiler. But if you're fearless and you're up to date, let's head in. Now, for this video, I have 6 options, and these are the 6 best options. Also, always including one that Oda already did, because in SBS volume 98, someone asked this question to Oda, and Oda answered it, right, and gave a slight reasoning, right? So we'll always start with the one that Oda gave, and then we'll go into my own as well. So the one that Oda gave, which was also one I had, the number 6, is the Uo Uo no Mi model Seiryu, which is Kaido's devil fruit. That would be great. Now, I only thought about this about Zoro having it, but Oda went a step further and talked about, instead of Zoro having it, Zoro's sword having this fruit, right? Now, I'm not sure which sword he was referring to, but probably one of them in his hands. I don't imagine he meant the Wado in his mouth, because that would just be weird. Zoro biting on a dragon, that I don't know about that, but Zoro's sword having it instead of him. So I imagine he said this for 2 reasons. One being that I think that Oda has just some idea for some of his characters in which he would like the character to always not have a devil fruit, right? To just grow, mature, become a legend, become a great character without the help of devil fruits. I think he has this idea for quite a few characters in mind, and he would not want to change that. The other reason I think he did this is simply because he might have an idea of some design or some way in Zoro with which Zoro fights using a dragon devil fruit. I once saw a picture of Zoro, using one of his techniques, and I think there was a picture of a dragon in the background because it was one of the dragon techniques that Zoro has, and I always imagined that as what it would kind of look like, except for the dragon not being the background and being one of the swords in his hands. So number 6, Uo Uo no Mi model Azure dragon. Number 5 we move on to is another devil fruit, which would actually be for his sword instead of Zoro himself, which is the Kira Kira no Mi, which is Diamond Josu's fruit, which allows him to turn to diamond, but in this case it would be Zoro's sword turning into diamond. Now, I don't imagine once again it would be the Wado. I want the Wado to be special, so we'll give it to one of his other swords in his hand. Maybe the Sandai. Yeah, maybe the Sandai will be better. I don't know about Enma, but yeah, Sandai, unless Sandai breaks, and then we'll have to give it to whatever sword he replaces that with. So Sandai Kitetsu for now. We'll get this devil fruit, and it will be great because it adds another dimension to the sword already, right? So apart from having swords with curses, he can have maybe one sword that doesn't have some kind of curse, but it has this blade, so it has something special about it as well, right? So with Zoro right now, how we have him in the series is that he could only not have Enma, which helps him with his haki, Wado with the incredible backstory behind it, and Sandai Kitetsu with the diamond, right? So all 3 of his swords are special in their own right, because right now it kind of feels like we've forgotten about Sandai and anything special. Like even right now, I don't remember anything that's special about the Sandai Kitetsu apart from the fact that there's 2 other Kitetsu's blades above it. So yeah, it would be great to get like something really unique and special about each of his swords, and a devil fruit there's no better way than a devil fruit, really. No other way to make a sword more unique than a devil fruit. So that would be incredible to see. I would love to get that. It will help him, with fighting ability, and will also help with some scenes, right? We could have a Nami scene with Zoro where Nami is always overcharging Zoro because she just wants him to, turn something into diamond and give it to her, right? Which maybe on the other hand, Oda could play it as if like after a while of Zoro doing that, if Zoro's not holding the object anymore, it stops turning into diamond, right? That would be funny to see, because then we could go into some other stuff where Nami goes to shops, and we've seen, I think in Sabaody, where Nami was trying to tell the shopkeeper to give her more discounts, and the shopkeeper was like, no, I can't give you any more discounts. I'm not giving you any discounts, right? This is too many clothes, right? So we could have a throw Zoro into that as well, where Nami tells him to turn some rock into a piece of diamond, and then he gives that to the shopkeeper, but when they leave, it turns back into a rock, and shopkeeper realizes that he's been swindled, right? So we could have more scenes like that, which would fit not only with the fighting, but with the Straw Hat dynamic. So once again, we're looking at devil fruits that really fit well with the characters. So moving on from there, at number 4, we have the Zushi no Mi, right? This is right currently in the story. It is Fujitora's devil fruit that controls gravity. Now, I always like the idea of Zoro's fruit being not something that is creating a substance, right? So nothing like a low gear fruit, which or one of the Big Mom pirates, those food related fruits, not really creating a substance, because that kind of takes away from the fact that Zoro's danger comes from the fact that he's a swordsman. So I don't want it to be something like that. I want it something that adds without taking away from who Zoro is as a character, as a fighter. So a great idea for that is, of course, the Zushi no Mi. Now, I don't want to spend too much time because we've already seen how it works with Fujitora, so we'll move on from there to the next one, which is Dazbone's Super no Mi. Now, normally we wouldn't think about this one, and normally, probably it's the first one you think about, then you just kind of ignore it. But I kind of like it still because of the ability it offers, especially the fact that Zoro wouldn't have to go around searching for other swords. He could just stick with the Wado, and then he could come across other swords, maybe use them a bit, but stick to maybe just having Wado and then his 2 hands as blades, right? And maybe he can shape them instead of looking like Dazbone's blades. He can shape them into like the kind of blades that he likes, right? And that could be something that Zoro does. It also take away from the fact that Zoro either loses or gets his sword stolen, right? So in this case, maybe the Wado could still be stolen in some cases and he'll have to get it back, but really, you wouldn't be able to steal at least 2 of his swords because they will always be on him. They will never disappear from being with him. So in that case, Zoro having the Super no Mi would be great, and maybe we could even go into some theory crafting about what if Zoro turns his hand blades into black blades, the Kokuto. So what happens then? Do his hands permanently become black? What goes on there, right? We could go into some stuff. Of course, now I think about how people react to that and all the race war stuff which will go on there, but for now we'll leave it at the fun speculation kind of side, right? We'll leave it in the nice area. And so we get to number 2, which is the Zozo no Mi, right? The elephant fruit. Now this fruit is originally owned by Funk Freed, which is Spandam's sword. Spandam, who used to be the leader of CP9 in the Enies Lobby arc, right? And Zoro could have that fruit, the Zozo no Mi. Why is this a great fruit for Zoro? 1, it kind of helps him with his transformations. Now, from what we've seen, Jack doesn't have a hybrid form. Well, not one that he's used thus far, even though he's had ample opportunity to use a hybrid form. But potentially it still exists because we have no reason to believe it doesn't, and so Zoro could use this hybrid form as a really great fighting form, especially with his to hold his swords basically, and that would be great for Zoro there. And plus, with the trunk, he can also choose to either put the sword in his mouth or hold it in the trunk. The trunk offers a greater sense of mobility, directioning, greater stretching ability, so it's not on his mouth and his face. He can stretch it further with the trunk, or maybe if he wants, in a case of danger, he can just put the sword back in his mouth and block with his trunk or something like that, and that would be great nonetheless. On top of that, having scenes of Jack versus Zoro in that case would be really great great to see two similar devil fruits, like, you know, the way people are hyped over some other fights going on in Onigashima right now, like Marco and King, the fact that they have similar devil fruits as well. So it would be nice to get stuff like that from Zoro, but also the fact that Zoro could have an elephant where he turns completely green, so not the grayish color that is already there, but a green elephant, which would be really crazy. I feel like Oda could do it. You know Oda would do such a thing, like you already know he would. So I don't think it's crazy to think that, you know, a green elephant for Zoro wouldn't be hilarious, especially for Sanji to make fun of. So green elephant for Zoro as number 2. And finally, number 1, the devil fruit that I even had to make up as the most important one is the Tori no Mi model South Bird, right? The bird fruit. Now, I don't think I need to go too deep into why a South Bird would be great, but I will for you guys nonetheless. Number 1, a bird fruit in general is amazing. It will offer Zoro the ability to fly. In Punk Hazard, Monet didn't have a bird fruit, right? She had a snow fruit, but the fact that she was a bird helped her ability to fight even better. Like, if Monet still stayed like as a regular human, I don't think she would have posed nearly as much as a threat as she did in Punk Hazard as a fighter. So just the ability to turn into a bird is really great, although I think Oda could kind of change it and make it so that his wings don't really stay like that. He can kind of hold the sword still and, you know, keep fighting the way he usually does. On top of that, you probably make Oda could also make the beak a bit smaller so that Zoro can hold his sword like that, his sword as he regularly does. And yeah, that would be great. So fighting will be improved, flying will be added, there's a beak as well, and there's really nothing to lose. And then we come to the Zoro character, right? And everything with the relationship with the Straw Hats. Of course, there's Sanji. Now, Zoro's hair is already green. Then you also have the colors from the South Bird, which including like yellow and magentas and all that kind of stuff. So him looking like a parrot is Sanji, fighting with him, calling him maybe a chicken or something like that, a green chicken, and then them going back and forth, Sanji making jokes about cooking Zoro, Zoro making jokes about slicing Sanji. That would be great again. But then also, if you remember correctly, the South Bird is from, you know, the Jaya/Skypiea arc, in which, you know, the Straw Hats needed to look for a South Bird in order to find the knock-up stream, right? And the special thing about the South Birds is, you know, in the name, they always face south. Like, inherently, they are built in such a way that their heads always look towards the south. And that'll be great for Zoro for either one of two reasons. The less funny reason is that it could help Zoro with his sense of direction, right? Because to some extent, sometimes you don't know where you are. But for example, if you always know where south is, you can always kind of figure out every other direction if you know where south one direction is, right? In this case, south. But the funnier option would be an option in which this worsens Zoro's sense of direction even more in a kind of logical but illogical sense, right? So Zoro, because he always faces south, right, every time he turns into, you know, hybrid or full bird, his sense of direction gets even worse, right? No matter what he's doing, he will always inherently head towards the south. So you could tell him to come straight towards you. He will walk a few steps and head south because that is the direction his head is facing. And then for Zoro to be like, all of a sudden you guys got lost, right? You are the ones who got lost. He was just running towards the right direction. So that would be so funny, and I would love to see something like that. But that brings me to the end, guys. Let me know how you feel. Are there other devil fruits that, you know, Zoro could have? Are there more ideas you want to build on with the devil fruits I've already spoken about? Let me know all that down in the comment section down below. Please, as always, like this video if you like the video and subscribe for more content. If you know someone who needs to hear the truth, share this video with them. If you have time, watch one more of their videos, and if not, thank you for watching this video to the end, guys. This is King KZ, and I'll see you in the next one.